IDs. Well, this has made headlines all over the media, people asking themselves, what is this we are seeing? And so many questions. Now, you're going to be getting answers to all those questions. Much as I'll be asking my guest, you also have an opportunity this morning through our WhatsApp number that will be coming up on your screen to ask any question regarding this exercise to my guest. Once again, I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonitono, and this morning I have John Towa Bahemuka, who happens to be the Manager, Compliance and Enforcement at the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA. Now, many of us know NIRA when it comes to issues of national ID, but there is so much they do away from that. We'll be getting to know that and then also look deeper into what exactly is going to be happening. We have people that got national IDs in 2014. And come August this year, those national IDs will have expired. And you'll have to get a new or another national ID. Good morning, John, and thank you for finding time.
Good morning, and good morning to our viewers. I'm glad to be here to answer all your questions regarding the mass enrollment and issues related to NIRA services.
Now, to begin with, when we talk about NIRA briefly, what are some of the services you offer?
Yes, NIRA, first of all and foremost, was established under the Registration of Persons Act 2014, and our functions are elaborated under Section 5 of that particular law. We have the mandate to register all citizens in this country and assign them a unique number, that is a national identification number. We also have the mandate to register all births occurring in the country and also to register all deaths occurring in the country. Those are the common functions that people know. But also behind that, we also have a mandate to verify and authenticate information that we store in the National Identification Register. So in the registration of persons, birth and death, we create what we call a National Identification Register. So that is our core function, to create that register, operationalize it, and then in so doing, we verify and authenticate information that we collect on the register with ministries, departments and agencies, and also the private sector.
Now, today we're discussing renewal of expired IDs. That will be in August this year. First, let's understand, how does my national ID expire? What do we mean? Let's do a bit of English here. This is something that identifies me.
Yes.
Now, I don't cease to be me.
Yes, so
many people are having that question. My citizenship, this is not just like maybe a passport or a driving license. This is a national ID.
Yes. So just for clarity, when we do two things here, we register you, you identify yourself, as a citizen of this country, we go ahead and register you. So once we register you, we assign you a unique number that distinguishes you, Chirabo, from John. So that NIN is given to you. Now, that NIN is your unique identifier as a citizen registered of this country. The card is merely a representation of the information that your NIN has. So you recall that once you register for national identification, we take many details about yourself, your personal details, your place of origin, place of residence, your father's details, mother's details. So that information is stored, and also we take your biometrics. So that the card is just a representation of some information about yourself. So under the law, the Registration of Persons Act, the validity of that card is stated to be 10 years. But also that act categorically states that the national identification number, which is your identity, does not expire. Now, the card there are several reasons behind expiry of this card. First of all, this card is made of polycarbonate material that has security features that degenerates over time. Also, this particular card is used as a travel document. Under the ICAO standards, International Civil Aviation Organization standards, require that travel documents should be renewed because your features change. Your face 10 years ago isn't still the same 10 years later.
Very true.
Yes, so it is a standard, international standard, an identity standard across the globe, that at least your biometric your biometric profiles that degenerate must be updated at a given time. So the renewal is an opportunity for us to get your latest biometric features, for us to get to update the card in compliance with the international standards. So it is not that once the card expires, your identity expires or your citizenship expires. No. The law is very clear. It is the NIN that is uniquely identifying you as a citizen of this country, and that does not expire. Even once we give out the new cards, you will still retain that NIN. That NIN shall only be collapsed upon your death.
Okay, that was said. Now, let's look at this talk of national IDs expiring. It is not very far. August is not very far. People who received the first bunch around 2014 will have to renew their national IDs. As NIRA, what plan and how is this going to be rolled out? So,
as the authority, we have been planning this for the last 3 years because we knew that after 10 years from 2014, the cards will be expiring, and then we will be required to renew the same. So the plan is that we will have registration centers across all the parishes in this country. We shall come to you closest at the parish in every district across the country. You will not be required to come to our district offices, which are far from the citizens. We shall come to you, to the parish. So you will have the opportunity to have the service closer to you. I know there's a lot of anxiety in the public about the numbers that we'll have, but we are prepared to come closest to the parish. So just be calm. Once we shall regularly provide information about our appearance at a particular parish. So once you get information that NIRA shall be at your parish, please spare time and come. Secondly, there's also been advancement in technology. The current technology we have been using as NIRA has been analog. So we are developing a system where we are going to have online capability, where you can do pre-registration online, you log in online, because where you're renewing and giving us prior information, you can do it online at your own convenience. And then once you've done your pre-registration online, you then come to the parish just to have your biometrics captured, your fingerprint and your face and your iris. So there shall be no need for everyone to come, because we shall also have online presence for those who have access to internet or smartphones. And those who don't have, we also take care of you by providing the service at the parish. So we believe it shall be faster and seamless.
Now, John, we have a number of districts. Yes, you said online registration, but we know a number of people, even passports that were put on online, they go through a middleman. They find it very hard, these online things. Much as, yes, we have levels of some educational levels having improved in our country. Now, when is this exercise going to start? And looking at the magnitude, I don't know if NIRA you have statistics, the number of people that must renew within this month.
So
the August month is what I'm referring to.
We are prepared to renew 15.8 million cards that were issued out, the first batch that were issued out in 2014/2015.
About 15.
For 15.8 million national ID cards
Okay.
that are expiring. And this is across the country. And if we could do it then, when even we did not have online capability, we believe that even with online capability, we'll be able to do it within the period of time that we have.
Now then, when people were not yet awake to the fact that a national ID was a necessity, I remember when I go to mine, you would even find NERA staff sleeping. One person comes, because it wasn't necessary so much by then. Today, it is the driver of a number of things. And I anticipate that demand will be so much for that. Now, 15.8 million IDs to be renewed, given our technology sometimes. Do we have enough time?
Yes, we have enough time.
When is this going to commence?
The law requires an applicant to apply 2 months before the expiry of the card. And by law, it is only the minister who has the power to declare the start and end date of the exercise. So in my capacity, I don't have the authority to do that. So at the opportune time, the minister shall, in a gazette, publish the start date and the end date of the exercise. But what you should know is that as an applicant, you must at least 2 months before expiry of your card apply to the authority. So for us, we are within the authority, we are preparing ourselves for that exercise such that once the minister declares the start date of the exercise, we'll be ready to go. But all the technologies are being set up to handle the capacity, and we assure Ugandans that we shall be up to the task.
Well, Ugandans, you can be part of the topic of discussion this morning by simply using a number that is going to be coming up on your screen. Send me a message on that topic. We are looking at renewal of national IDs. We are looking at about 15.8 million IDs, national identifications, that have to be renewed. Now, if you got your ID around 2014, by August this year, that will be 10 years and will have expired. So you must have a new national ID. Let me have the number on the screen, please, so that our viewers can use that to send us text and WhatsApp messages. But also, there is a document that I asked my producer to put on the screen right now. Etiang, let's have that so that we discuss that more. It is this document that has been circulating that has raised a lot of people's eyeballs, wondering what is next. Now, when you look at that document, it has a directorate of legal, foreign affairs, so much of it. I may not be able to read it very clearly from where I am here, but one thing that is clear, it has stated that each day that passes, a person will have to part with 40,000 shillings upon their ID expiring. I think, let me try reading it out very fast. Renewal of national identification cards. It says, under section 69, Cap 5 of the Registration of Persons Act 2015, upon expiry of national identification card, NERA, on the application of the holder, or will renew the card. A holder of any expiring national ID is required to apply for renewal to NERA in Form 9 at least 2 months before the expiry of the card. So that means if you hold a national ID 2 months before it expires, just like my guest had said, you must apply. Registration, now these are a bit, but I want to pick out, let's go to 4. Number 4 there. According to section 71 of the ROBA 2015, a person to whom a national ID is issued upon expiry of the old one is required to surrender to NERA the expired national ID. Now, very interesting, number 5. It states that if your national ID expires, that each day that passes when your national ID has expired, brother or sister, you must part with money. A person who defaults, number 3, clearly look at number 3, if you can get it. Number 3, scroll a bit down of that document. I want our viewers to look at that clearly. A person who defaults to apply for renewal may be liable to pay a fee of not more than 40,000 Uganda shillings in respect of each day of default. Now, if my national ID, I was just thinking if it expires and I'm in about a month of not renewal, if each day goes for 40,000, then won't I give up having a national ID? First, John, is this an authentic document from NIRA, or it is what we already see around on our social media platforms?
I want to make this categorically clear about this document. As you can see, the heading of the document is titled Legal Clinic Notes for NIRA Staff. So this is an initiative of NIRA, the Directorate of Legal Affairs, to refresh the minds of NIRA staff about the law that they are implementing. So it was an internal document meant to refresh in the minds of our staff that, hey, as you're executing this work, did you know about these provisions? Just to tickle their minds. And that has, as you can see, it has even a numbering, so that's the 4th, that's the 6th legal note of this year. So it has been, it is what we always use to create awareness within staff, because you cannot start expecting the public to comply with the law, yet your own staff don't know about the law. So that has...
Moreover, ignorance of the law is not excuse.
Yes. But let me now speak to what the state is right now. That is the law as it is right now. However, I want to make it known to the public that we have gone through a phase of proposing amendments to various provisions of the law that relate to renewal of national ID cards. And that particular provision is one of those provisions that is going to be amended. So there is already a proposal that has been approved by NIRA, and that has also been approved by our minister, and it is before the Attorney General for clearance. So some of those fees are to be scrapped. They are to be scrapped, and once we get an approval and it is gazetted, the public shall be informed. So there is no need to panic, there is no need for alarm. Just be a responsible citizen and apply for renewal of your card at least 2 months before it expires. So don't be alarmed. Most of these provisions are meant to be amended by removal. But what I want to emphasize to citizens is that, please, it is your duty
to be safe.
To be safe, just 2 months before expiry, apply for renewal of the card.
And where do I apply?
So like I mentioned earlier.
Oh, how do I apply?
Yes. So under the law, there is a form, Form 9, that is a form for renewal of the card. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, we shall be having both online and offline mechanisms. So the online, we shall have that form online, where you can just, where you can type in, put in your information, your NIN, and your information that you have to trigger the application process. If you don't have access to online facilities, at our registration points, we shall have those forms, where you can also download the same, or you fill in, download the same, and present them at our registration points. But we shall have them at our registration points, and we shall have them on the website of NIRA, and we shall have them an online module where you can apply before that period comes. So there shall be no need for you to be anxious about your delay in applying, to be penalized. Just be sure that, be mindful of the date when it is expiring and apply, and you shall get the card.
Now, John, when I apply, application online is free definitely, but for this renewal exercise, are Ugandans going to be paying? Is it going to be free like it was in the beginning?
Yes, and the renewal shall be free. Once we get the amendments gazetted, you shall have all the services that are going to be provided for by the authority at no cost indicated. But among them, renewal shall be free. What I must emphasize is that you shall also be required to return the expired card to the authority. That when you are coming for the capture of your biometric features, you will be required to return that card to the authority, so that we then give you the new card, because it is the property of government of Uganda. It was issued to you free the first time, and again it's going to be issued to you, reissued to you free the second time, but you must return that is expired, and then in exchange for that which is expiring.
Well, when we come from this break, we'll be looking at some of the messages that are coming in. Only those related to the topic of discussion are what I'll be reading out. Thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. Let's go for this short break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. In the production process of Aquafina, we expertly filter every drop, providing clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with the added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is bottled by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and is available at only 1,000 shillings.
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour foam?
Yes, it packed.
It will protect your skin from skin rashes.
Morbid pack.
It is a new improved Morbid Harbour jelly, so soft and smooth.
It is a Morbid Harbour jelly.
Tell me, kids, the sense. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Harbour Jelly and Harbour Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. But what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that.
Okay.
The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Welcome
to Dade Nursery Primary School, Luzira, a school that gives your child a positive learning environment that makes them feel comfortable and safe. We are a progressive year-round nursery and primary school, providing a child-centered approach to early learning, collaborative family atmosphere, and a safe, inspiring environment that encourages exploration and creativity. Dade Nursery and Primary School offers a wide range of co-curricular activities that promote teamwork, physical and mental development, including ballet, soccer, basketball, piano, and home economics. Admissions are in progress from baby class to P7, starting from the 8th of January to the 5th of February 2024. Find us at the first left turn after Oryx Service Station towards Luzira.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Thank you for being with us. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Welcome back from that short break. I'm still with an official from NIRA, that is John Toa Bahemuka, who happens to be in charge of compliance and enforcement. Now we are looking at the upcoming exercise of mass renewal of national identification cards. That is, if you got one around 2014, come this very year in August, it will have expired. But the law requires you to apply 2 months before it expires. So you must look at your national ID, check well. Maybe you think you got it a bit earlier, but it's actually during that time. Now, I promised that I'll be reading some of the messages, and if I find those connected to the topic of discussion, I'll be reading them out. Well, thank you so much, moderator, for today's GMU. Thanks for the program. I'm Code Smith from West Nile region. I'd like to know if there will also be a service for new people who will be in need of acquiring national IDs. Please jot this down. Good morning, UBC. Thank you for the program. I need to know the renewal shall be in terms of costs and other related issues. Other people registered and NIRA never produced their IDs, but NINs, so how can they tell us that this time around they are serious? NIRA needs to roll out sensitization programs down to the villages, because always the affected persons are people down in villages who do not even know how to read or write. During the first phase of national ID registration, those NIRA officials captured good biometric info, but also made so many errors on people's IDs. So I need to know if this time around they will have provisions of correcting such information. Alex from Chireka. Please, let's make these messages a bit shorter. Kindly do that. Then, this is unfair to treat Ugandans in that manner of applying for your renewal of ID earlier before the real day. Assuming my parents, who are not educated and know nothing. You've got that, John. Muro Roger is my name, watching from Kagoma. Supposing I lost my national ID, which will be expiring in August, reported to police, and I have a police statement. Is it enough for me to apply for the new ID? And hope my speed is okay. Good morning, UBC. What is the procedure of correcting names and dates of birth? Thank you. Well, that we may not do now. And good morning. What if I lost my NIN and never got another one and it expired? Okay, that is similar to what we've just discussed. Then, good morning, presenter. I'm Leberius from Kabale district. For me, I wanted to know whether a person can change his date of birth. That is on a national ID. Are you about to approach retirement? So I see so many people there, they want to change. Hello, thank you for the show. I'm Abel from Chireka. My current ID during registration in 2014, I was at school, it didn't have the details of my home district. We were given new districts. My question, is it possible to change those details during the renewal? How will NERA work within the time frame to see that all people are served to avoid extra charges? For now, let's keep the messages at that. Please don't send in more so that we can deal with and please do not call on this number. It makes reading very hard because you're calling. It's only for sending texts and WhatsApp messages. I would like to kindly notice if I can change some of my initial credentials which were errored that we've discussed. And good morning, thanks for the show. The penalty fee of 40,000 a day passes in unfair. We are Ugandans. This is not a business. Well, that John talked about it. We are optimistic and very hopeful that we shall have an amendment to that and that money is removed. But even if it is not, then do things in time. I think that is the best way. Do things in time, have your evidence applied, it is upon you, NERA, then you save yourself those monies. Good morning, UBC. My ID expires on the 16th of December 2026. Will it be expired before that date? Have you gotten that message? Mm-hmm. It says, good morning, UBC. My ID expires on the 16th of December 2026.
So it's okay.
It will be expired before that date.
It can't be expired before.
It can't. It can't. Maybe he's asking that, what about those that will expire after August?
Okay.
What is their fate?
All right.
Will you again have renewal of any sort? And please, let's make, well, callers are making it hard to read messages. John, let's go with that, with those so far.
All right. I will answer them. The first one, whether we shall be renewing, whether we shall be receiving new registrations. Yes, we shall, because it will be both mass renewal and mass enrollment. You who has never registered before, you also have the opportunity to register. But I must emphasize that, you see, the difference between the mass registration of 2014 and what we are going to have is that in 2014, the plan was to get as many Ugandans as, it was a starter, get as many Ugandans as possible on the register. So the requirements were, you know, were not that standardized, what you need to present before you register. But now the requirements that we consider for registration apply. So it will not be the same case where we say everyone who has registered, please come and register. You will be required to present the same requirements that you require now for registration of national ID. And that are the LC1 letter, what must be recommendation letter from LC1 endorsed by the DISO or GISO, that is really to verify that the information you're providing for us is true, and then a copy of a national ID of your parents, if they are alive, and if both parents are deceased, a copy of your national ID of your biological relatives, to give that connection that you must belong to one of the indigenous communities listed in the 3rd schedule of the Constitution. It is tighter. It is tighter. And also, those who sneaked in the first time and are not Ugandans, we will have the opportunity to sieve them and catch them at this point. Because it is not automatic that when you're renewing, we shall just present. Because if we have access to review the information you provided for us at the first time, and if at that time you had sneaked in the register, if all this period you have sneaked in the register without documentation, it is also an opportunity for us as NERA to clean up our register, because we must have a credible, accurate, and reliable national identification register. Secondly, someone asked that there are people who registered at school and other places, were only given NINs, but were not given cards. what happens? Cards are given to persons who are 16 years and above. So once we register you and you're below the age of 16 years, we only assign you a national identification number. So this time, if you shall have reached the age of 16 years old, please come to the registration center and present yourself for the capture of your biometrics, and then we shall issue you a card. So for all those persons, especially children who are registered in school and have now attained the age of 16 years old, come to the center and have your latest picture and biometrics captured so as to enable us print out your national ID card. So yes, we shall give you a card once you're 16 years and above, because then you qualify.
Now, just maybe on that, there are people who are registered in 2014, got NINs, but they never got their national IDs, and maybe they have not followed up. And now when he compares the time of registration, that this could have expired. So does this person then come with a NIN minus a national ID?
Yes. So we have the record of cards that have been taken or issued by the authority. So once you pick your card, we register it on the system that your card has been issued. But if you registered and you've never picked your card, but you have your NIN, please come back. We'll be able to tell that the card is still in the custody of NIRA, that you've never collected it. And if it's expired, it is because we have the information as well. So you'll also be entitled to have your card renewed. Because on our side, it is showing that we haven't yet issued it out to you. There is evidence to that effect. And the card itself has expired as a matter of fact. And thereby, if it is what we then have in our custody is invalid. So we shall then proceed to register you and renew that which has expired. So even if you don't have your card, even if you did not collect your card and it is still in the custody of NIRA, please come and then you apply for renewal, and we shall be able to confirm that information on our side. Yes, about sensitization in the villages, the sensitization is going to go up to the village level. The process at districts shall be managed by the leaders in the districts, because they should own up this process. The district leadership shall be actively involved in the process. So we believe that up to the lower structures of the village level, we shall be having constant information and sensitization about this mass renewal and mass registration exercise. Errors which were made by people during the registration before, I must say that there are two types of errors. Errors that were occasioned by NIRA, those errors, it's an opportunity to correct those errors. What I should tell the public is that we have a copy of that original form that you filled in 2014. We have them, and they are saved against your NIN. I told you the NIN, once your NIN has information about yourself. That information, that original form, Form 3, we have it. So if you assert and claim that the error was made occasioned by NIRA, we will just download that form and confirm. If indeed it was an error occasioned by NIRA, that error shall be corrected instantly and without any further documentation. However, if that error was occasioned by yourself, there is another process really for correction of error, and it depends on the error. Different errors have different requirements, and there are quite a number. So we shall be explaining to you what you need to present to have those errors corrected. And this goes on also to answer the question of correction of information generally. It shall be possible to be done at the registration center, but if it's an error that needs that's an error occasioned by NIRA, we shall do it at that point. But if it's an error occasioned by the applicant, he or she will have to take the other steps and present the requirements for changing of particulars. I want to, the other question on if I lost my ID and reported to police, is it enough for me to renew my ID? Yes. The law requires that once you lose your card, you're required to present a report by police to NIRA for the card to be reprocessed. So you shall be required to present that evidence of the loss of that card, and that is the police letter. However, there is a fee you pay for a lost card. Yes, you have to pay the fee that is required by law, 50,000 shillings for the lost card before we can issue you a new card. Remember, that card is given to you free of charge, and you have a duty to keep it safe. The issue on your ID, your current ID at school, it didn't have details of districts. As you are well aware, the administrative units of this country have since increased and changed, different from what we have in 2014. And yes, we're updating the same. So your card shall have your latest administrative unit, which is your place of origin or your place of residence. So I want to confirm that that shall change and shall be updated. And actually, these are one of the reasons as to why this renewal process is valid, because many things change.
Many things change.
Yes.
Well, as we sort an issue there, when we talk about many things change, it is very clear why then you should have your national ID. You should be very, very careful to understand, is it still valid come the date when those that received earlier in 2014 were getting their national IDs? Because if you do not apply 2 months before, then you may land yourself in complications that we don't want you to land into. Well, so many questions are coming in, and I don't know if time can ever be enough for us, because we are left with only 3 minutes. But maybe let's just go through a few if you see those that we can. Well, hello, thank you for the show. It's Lapa Tone from Ajumani. I'm glad. Is possible for me to add a different name on my card? He says a different name on my card, not another name, but a different name. Well, I hope it was meaning that I received mine, but lost it in a few months. What are the processes of getting a new one? How much is the fee if I am to get a replacement? And my ID is broken in the middle, and it expires this year, October. Will they accept it or not? And try to look. Hello, this is Rogers from Neby Town. My question is, what will you do to a person who loses his card? I think that we've answered. And finally, well, if I change my place of origin to stay elsewhere permanently, will the system allow me to change, especially online application? I have damaged that is finished. Then one watching in Dubai, actually these are many from Dubai, and they're saying, for those of us who are not in the country, at the time this exercise will be happening, what is our fate? Let's end that first.
Yeah. I will start with our citizens who are living abroad. I will not restrict to Dubai. We have also plans to take this service to our missions and embassies abroad. So we shall be in those embassies and missions abroad to have you apply for renewal of your card. So be at peace. Plans are underway to have the services taken there. Is it possible to add a different name? Like I said, it will be possible, but you have to present the requirements needed for that particular service. It is not that you'll just walk in and change every information about yourself. No. The requirements for change of particulars still remain the same. If you want to change or add or drop a name, you'll have to present the deed poll that is registered by your RSB and a copy of the Uganda Gazette, so that then the process of change is complete. Otherwise, less of that application shall not go through. Renewal, if you're renewing as is, nothing is changing, no information is changing, that one will be the most seamless, because you're just getting, what you're only renewing is your face, your fingerprint, and adding an additional feature of the iris for us to give a new card. But any other change, you'll have to present the documents as is required now for the same. I think about replacement, I talked about it, that if you lost your card, you're required to report that loss to the police, get a police letter. You pay 50,000 shillings for the loss of the card in the bank. That's payable to Uganda Revenue Authority, not to any NERA official. All the payment is to the bank, to the consolidated fund. You're given a bank slip, then present that bank slip with the police letter to the registration center, and then your ID shall be replaced.
Well, thank you so much, John, for your time, and above all, our viewers. I have so many messages, over 100 plus. Thank you. It shows your participation, following, but we couldn't answer all the questions as they came in due to time constraints. Make sure that you apply for renewal in time to avoid the uncertainties, but also the fear. We are assured by John here that government is looking into that, to have an amendment, and that daily 40,000 be scrapped. We are optimistic and pray that that sees the light of day, but also importantly is keep that national ID very safe. Broken, then you have to incur costs, then lost it, you have to incur costs. So to avoid all that, treasure that document. See you tomorrow, God willing. Have a lovely time. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Office